Yo, yo, what's up, Micah? This is Micah here from Tavern Geek, and we have returned with a fourth installment to the Tavern Talk NBA podcast. Yes, this is a podcast, and we are doing a podcast about basketball people that are professional. But anyway, um, just wanted to let everyone know that I am not alone here tonight. I'm joined by the infamous Zakhammer attack.
He's here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Zakhammer because there's a dude on Facebook, Zach Tech. I found that out, and I don't want
Yeah,
to go copying somebody with that. Anyway,
yeah, we don't need any copyright issues to be like, yo, my name's Zach Attack, give me money. I'll be like, no,
exactly.
I'll just be the Zach Hammer.
Zakhammer's better anyway.
Yeah. So
But so I'll say this: we were talking about the East. As much as I hate to say it, man, Harden and them have been getting it going with or without KD. They're showing they can do it even with two of the three of them. It's actually been pretty fun to watch.
yeah, they I was having a conversation with one of our coworkers the other day, and um, good old Jay, and we were both talking about how we both thought that the Nets weren't going to be able to do it. Like we thought it was too many heads, like too many big
Yep.
egos, and too many guys that like the ball in their hands. But dude, man, Harden has looked so unselfish since he's been there. And it's weird to me because he
Really.
looks like a totally different person, totally different player. Um, and they're making it work. They're moving the ball. He and Kyrie are being playmakers and still doing
Yeah.
what they do. Um, and then once Durant is back and they're in full swing and everything, Durant will be ISOing the most out of him. I mean, he's really good at that.
Oh yeah.
uh, but man, they've really surprised me. And it's hard not to see anybody else from the East making the finals. I mean, I want to see Giannis and the Bucks go, but
They can't do it. They need somebody else. I mean, even with Drew Holiday, they need like I. I mean, I don't even know. uh, who was I talking about it with the other day? He needs to realize that he can't just pile drive it in there in the playoffs. Like when you get there, you have to do something different. So why wouldn't you do something different before you get there? Like you can't do it well later if you don't practice it during the season. Like everybody lets you drive to the center and during the year, and then when you get to the playoffs, it's like whoa, you know, you got to slow down, and then those nights where he gets destroyed.
yeah, it's I don't know. He's been different this year, I will say, but I still just have that gut feeling. And I was on a Feeling Lucky podcast a couple months ago, and the cool guy named Lucky and his buddy Jared, really funny guys. If people are listening, go to the podcast, go to Hops News, and check out Feeling Lucky. He's a hilarious person. But I was on there, and they're Milwaukee natives, and we were talking about the Bucks, and and I just told him, I was like, I just feel like there needs to be one other person there. I just don't think Middleton's that person.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Holiday is a scrapper. He's a tough player. He's pivotal in that team, but that middle guy, out of your big three players, has got to be a little bit higher up than Chris Middleton. Now, if you didn't have Chris Middleton there and you had James Harden there, then you're looking at a really good team, or any other top tier player that you could put next to Giannis. You know, uh, really, honestly, Giannis needs somebody like Bradley Beal. I would, if I was the Bucks, like, and I like Chris Middleton, and Chris Middleton can be a great 3-point threat. He's a great defender. Uh, and it'd be awesome if he could be a guy that could stay on the team. But if you were going to acquire someone like Beal, Chris Middleton is in that trade, because you're not trading away Drew Holiday. So it's uh so that's where, like, I think, like, with the Bucks, like, if they got Bradley Beal, that would be really good, because he can take over a game, and like Giannis can, hang back in that stretch, that playoff series where he's not going every playoff game.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to him when they played Miami. Like,
Yeah. He
um,
got just tanked out every single game.
yeah, man, because Miami was moving the ball around, switching. They're utilizing every player on the court, and then you had Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
dogging.
Yeah, he was.
So that
One thing too, speaking of that, if they did that trade too, Washington might be looking for a younger lineup, because that's kind of what they're set up with now anyway. So the Bucks have some younger talent, maybe rookie or second year players. They could pack a couple of those with Middleton, Um,
yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know. I mean, I think that'd be a good move. I think Beal wants out for real, but I don't know. Is
Yeah,
is is Westbrook a cancer to a team that much?
Westbrook just needs to be around a player and learn to coexist with a player like Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
As you know, when that was okay, that OKC team was a good team,
yeah,
and they worked together. Then they went to the finals and played LeBron in them. At the Heat. That was a they had Harden too. He was young, but they had Harden. But
yeah,
that was a really, really good team, and they had a lot of great players on that team. Period.
no,
Outside
yeah,
of
they
the
did.
big three guys, of course, you can't forget Serge Ibaka was a nightmare back then of a player. Uh, but Russell is different because he's just a high octane player. And if he ever wants to win a championship, he's going to have to, like, adapt from his style. So right now, like,
Yeah,
you fill Washington, with a bunch of young players, and him, you're going to sell tickets. He's going to be
yeah. I
fun to
mean,
go watch. So uh, that's, but you don't know what his intentions are. Maybe that's what he wants to do. Maybe he doesn't like right now. Maybe he thinks, what, I'm just going to play my heart out and play hard every single night, play my basketball. And then one day when I can't play my basketball anymore, I'll go and give a championship team a certain skill set that they need off the bench, or a 6-man type person. He may end up turning into like an older Lou Williams type guy when he's older. But he has definitely faded away from his MVP days. So
no, I mean he definitely has. That just seems so, I don't know why he wouldn't. First off, I think would make more sense if he would just stop jumping in, for the rebounds. When you have Ben Simmons is kind of an exception because you have somebody that's taller, but um, I don't know. If you let the big men do their thing, I feel like you have more of a team chemistry, team rotation. Not that necessarily has to work that way all the time, but it just seems more like, he wants to have the ball in his hand, across the board all the time. Triple double, granted that's just a paper stat, but that does show, that he is swinging in there all the time, which is good basketball. But I don't know. I think maybe if he just did the, scoring and assisting, maybe the rest of it would play out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe his hand in that part wouldn't work the same. I feel
Yeah.
like it probably, I'm definitely downplaying it to a simple level. That's not how it works, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems interesting how wherever he's at now, it just doesn't seem. Which in OKC it did. Even when no one else was there, him and Steven Adams could pretty much get it done. And I mean they did it. They got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then when you added Paul George and all that, that was kind of
Well, they had a good that last year before he went to the Clippers was a good
yeah.
year. He got him. I mean, really, he played secondary to Paul George. He let him drive.
No, yeah, they
Uh,
did do very good.
Paul George was an MVP candidate that year. Like, he played great
Yeah, it was nice.
basketball. Yeah, and you were like, oh
Yes,
man,
he
then
got to get warmed up.
it was weird because he's playing MVP basketball for the Thunder, and you're like seeing him, and like Russ was playing really good, and you're like, oh man, it looks like PG and Russ are gonna like have something here in OKC, be a threat in the West, and then like. I was just sitting there during the summer, and all of a sudden, I cut on the TV, and it's like Paul George was traded to the Clippers. I was like,
I know.
"What? What is going on?" And it was like not too long after that. Russell
Weird.
Westbrook was traded to the Rockets. I was like, wow, wow.
Yeah,
But
that was crazy.
yeah, but
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
the West
Seemed to
is
work though. I mean, like in the reality of the situation, you look at the OKC team now. Shea's playing amazing. Everybody's playing really well. Dort's playing really well. I mean, they're I don't know about contender team, but they're definitely playoff team. You know, so even though that just seemed so intense so fast, everybody was split up, and then Russ just didn't work in Houston. Um, though, if Harden had already been gone, maybe that would have been his new OKC. You know,
who knows?
I feel things could have been different then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
But
I mean, the West now is a totally different thing as we've been seeing. You and I were talking about earlier. It's pretty awesome.
yeah, it is.
How it works. And it looks like our third companion is about to join us. So Derek, hey, what's up, Derek?
Is he there?
Hey, man. Oh, he's not all the way on here. Oh, I think there he is. Hey,
Hey, what's
man.
up, fellas?
Hey, you're live, man. We're recording. You hopped in right when we were about to start a pretty interesting topic here.
Oh, you're good.
So
Yeah.
you're put on the
Let me
spot. What do
let
you
me
think about
interrupt.
that, man?
Oh, what's that? What's the topic?
No, nothing. I was just kidding. I
Oh,
was messing it up. We
Yeah.
weren't really talking about. We were just kind of talking about Russ actually at this point.
Yeah. The just his
But
transitions and stuff, but yeah, we were getting ready to where it's thinking about like the Western Conference now versus to when like Russ and KD and like the Thunder were really banging it out, and the Spurs were the goat of the West, and you had Golden State and Houston kind of being those lower, like kind of like the way the Suns are now, and the Blazers are kind of to now, but yeah, we were just kind of talking about that, and then it's one thing I think is really kind of awesome is just like the Jazz this year. Um, they are an absolute, totally different team. They look so secure when they're out there playing basketball. They're just going to be tough to beat for anybody in the West. Period. So, but yeah, What do you think about that, Derek? Like where the Jazz is at and the way the West is panned out.
Yeah, it sounds like y'all were talking about what you said about the time when the OKC was still young and everything. So it was
Yeah.
about 10 years ago. And it's kind of crazy how I guess 10 years ago was still the incline of the emergence of like those explosive point guards back when like Derrick Rose got drafted in 2008. But then you have, Damian Lillard. I think he was drafted 2012 maybe or 2011, and then Russ. So all those guys that are older now and almost 30 or in their 30s now, that at that time was like the emergence of the explosive point guard, and then the loss, kind of the tail end of that big guy, the old traditional big guy, I guess you could say, back to the basket type of play. And now 10 years later, you still got those point guards, but they are still explosive, but they can also make plays too. And then you have the big guys seem like they're coming back this year, but they're just different. Obviously they can shoot the three and some of them can make plays if you're talking about somebody like Bam. But just specifically like what you were asking me going to the Jazz, that just brings me back to Rudy Gobert, because he is kind of like a retro version of that big guy that just kind of dominates boards on most of his games, and can catch lobs and do the putbacks. He's today's big guy as far as stoutness and length and size and just controlling the paint. So former defensive player of the year, he hasn't lost a step. Donovan Mitchell, another explosive guard. I mean, he runs point sometimes, but he's listed as shooting guard. So with him controlling the pace, and then Mike Conley being that veteran guard that was playing for Memphis 10 years ago, and then you have Jordan Clarkson off the bench.
Yeah.
Some shooters with Joe Ingles and Bogdanovich. Of course, Joe Ingles also plays guard as far as the point guard type of player that can fill in if Mike Conley's out or if Donovan Mitchell's on the bench. So the Jazz is
well
very
too, like
he does. He does a great job
with
the pace. I mean, he does definitely set a tempo for like the second unit or the first unit, wherever he's at, as far as how they put him in the lineup for the game. But that's just like a lot of versatility. It's almost like there where I would say I would have expected the Denver Nuggets to be this year, just because of all the talent and depth that they have as far as guys with specific set of skills, and then your superstar players. I mean, if you look back at the bubble playoffs where you see Donovan Mitchell versus Jamal Murray and kind of the same type of positions, and then you see Rudy Gobert versus Jokic, which is they're two different type of players, but like I said, again, bringing back the big man into the game in a different way. But I just thought it would be where the Denver Nuggets would be the one that we're talking about as far as in reference to where the Jazz are now. Like I thought Denver would be basically up top. Yeah. And the Jazz would be the one, not quite as low as where Denver's at now. I think they might be 8th, but like in the middle, where they might have shown some slight improvement. But obviously if the Denver Nuggets had improved upon last year or just was healthy to start the year, then I think they should have been at the top. But if the Jazz are there, I just heard something when I was watching TV, I think yesterday, they just, they don't have any players that really went out for like COVID issues. So, when you're intact like that and you just able to build in this season, especially with it being a short season, I mean, unless unfortunate events turn things around, you're just building, your confidence not really going to get shaken up any at this point. You're just going to keep coasting, keep winning. You're going to have games where they lost yesterday, but I don't think that's any hindrance. It's just something that in a mature way, they'll just build off of and use that as where do we go wrong, and then just look at the next game and go play for the next game.
Yeah. And you were saying just a few minutes ago, we were talking about big guys that, are like a new wave or what they do bring to the game now. And we were talking about Jokic, the Joker, and he is a phenomenal player. Just he can run the floor like a point guard and set his guys up. One of the probably best passers in the league. And just clutch anywhere on the court. Like there's not really a shot he can't hit. Uh, he's definitely that. I don't know. Embiid is a powerful center, and he is killing it too. But where do you guys think who's better right now, Embiid or the Joker?
That's I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be kind of a good comparison there. Good spread. Both can shoot threes. Ooh.
I kind of feel like if I'm thinking who's better at the moment, I mean, Embiid this is the first season so far where he's been this healthy as far as longevity without taking games off or just having a setback coming into the season where it's him just getting acclimated to NBA pace all over again and then trying to make something out of nothing in a way where the team might have been struggling without him. I mean, to see him at his full potential this year, it's been awesome. I mean, he's just doing a lot of stuff with his footwork that makes me think of obviously a player like Akeem Olajuwon from back in the day, but just here in modern times, just he's swift, as far as his jump shot and what he can do to draw fouls. It's almost like a big James Harden sometimes when he does draw a foul. And then just thinking of Jokic, what you're talking about Jokic as far as shooting on the floor, obviously he's not pulling up 30 feet like Damian Lillard, but
No, nah.
He just looks like anything within that 3-point arc is like the paint. Like how I talked about Rudy Gobert is in the paint. Like Jokic has all of that. Like the paint has expanded for him. That's how I see how he's playing. Just as far as where he can make plays from, where he can even grab a rebound from. But I mean, at the moment, I'm just going to give props probably to Joel Embiid as far as where he has his team positioned, and just because of the past few years where I felt like the Sixers could have been, higher up as far as going into the postseason, but due to injuries, they weren't. So to see that this is the impact that Joel Embiid should have had all these years, I'm going to go ahead and give him the nod at the moment. But obviously both of these guys are in the MVP discussion right now. So
yeah,
they're basically top 5 players in the league at the moment.
Yeah, definitely a couple years ago, if Kawhi hadn't have been in the East, the Sixers probably would have made it to the finals. That was a good team with Jimmy Butler on there with them, and they were pretty awesome there that playoff series. But Kawhi, he nailed that clutch shot.
That was a crazy shot.
Yeah, but if he hadn't have been there, they probably would have got a chance to play, on the bigger stage. But yeah, definitely Embiid is definitely in a place right now where he is top notch. And it's going to be cool because we're going to get the All-Star game here soon, and Embiid and Jokic are the 2 top centers voted in their conferences. And of course, we're going to get the draft Monday, who they draft to their teams, LeBron and Durant. So when was the last time we had LeBron versus Durant where they were the captains? Has that ever happened in the All-Star game since they started doing this?
It's been LeBron and Giannis.
Yeah,
2 years ago, I guess, when they first started it. Durant was still in the West. And then last year, Giannis had it again. Yeah, so Giannis and LeBron's both been captains the last 2 years, which is when they started it 2 years ago.
Yeah, as long as
interesting.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting.
I can't remember who had the first pick.
LeBron has the first pick of the starters, and Durant has the first pick of the reserves, and they'll go, serpentine, snake draft.
Yeah.
But yeah, once they get to the reserve picks, that's Durant. Durant has the first pick there, and honestly, the way that the starters are in there, that's a really good place to be between the two captains, like to pick from the bench, because the benches are loaded with some great players. I know Zach and I were talking just a little while ago about, like in the East. I mean, the West is a West All-Star. The West All-Star selections are always, it's tough to make the All-Star team in the West. In the East, it's a little bit easier, but there's some players that have made the All-Star team this year in the East that I was really, really happy about. One being Julius Randle, Zach LaVine. Both of them are just that they've played some great basketball this year.
They both deserve it for sure.
Yeah. Zach LaVine honestly probably should have been on it last year. Maybe he was hurt. I don't know, but he definitely has been, knocking on the door of All-Star for a minute. So, so it'd be cool to see what younger player like that gets stuck with LeBron or Durant, and how they, have fun together. Because it ain't gonna be serious, but they're gonna go out there and have fun. I think an All-Star game has been serious since Jordan played. They said Jordan would come out to the All-Star game, and it was like, I'm gonna beat your ass. He just ran
him. No joke.
It's like another basketball game. So
that's funny.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think now, I think it might be a weird All-Star game with the players not really wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Also true.
Yeah, that's definitely the case.
Nobody wants to get COVID in that situation and then be out for their team. But I think it's been fun the way.
Too.
Yeah, not having the full break, which is what happens every year. But I think it's been interesting, the concept that they've come up with the last 2 years with selecting the captains, and then what they implemented last year with the Kobe rule of the last quarter, whatever team is leading, set the points to score to plus 24 points on top of their point tally through the first 3 quarters, and then play to that. So I think that's real interesting, because if you are trying to win, and if it's a close game, then it'll be close. If it's not, maybe the other team can do a comeback. So it's like you're not completely out the game, but that also kind of, in my mind, puts it at not just obviously a clock thing, because the clock is turned off, but brings back the defense into the All-Star game, because that's what happened last year. I think, if I recall, I can't remember if LeBron's team was down. I know they won, but the defense, it picks up in that last quarter for sure. If they're taking it serious, because it's like, okay, everybody's gotten their touches the first 3 quarters, and now it's like a real game. And that's what I liked about it a lot. So hopefully we get to see that again this year.
Yeah, definitely. So with the All-Star game coming up, and like picking these players, like if you're LeBron, Zach, who are you picking first out of the starters? But you've got them all, the East starters and the West starters. You pick any of them. Except for Kevin Durant, obviously.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't even know like the entire list.
In the East, you've got Embiid, you've got Giannis, you've got Bradley Beal, you got Kyrie, and then the West, you've got Jokic, Curry, Derek, help me out here.
Is Kawhi a starter?
Kawhi, yeah. Yeah, Kawhi, LeBron, and Jokic, and then Curry. I can't think who the other guard is. Luka, that's it. Yeah, Luka.
Okay. Since we were talking about it, we'll go with Embiid, since he's, kind of shining through as the best center this year. We'll go with him. I feel like that'd be a smart first pick.
All right, Derek, you're up. Who would you take at that second pick if you're Durant?
I do like Zach's pick because Embiid kind of, I mean, he always talks trash, so that kind of brings back an old nostalgia of the times when they used to play hard defense in the All-Star game. I was actually talking to Hugh about this specifically the other day at work, and I told him, well, I thought Kevin Durant had the first pick, but either way, I felt like LeBron would do something different. I had thought maybe Giannis, but when I talked to him, I told him I think LeBron should pick Curry because he's never really had the opportunity to play with him. And obviously he's played against him so much. He knows what that guy can do. And I think that'll just be interesting to see as a fan of LeBron and Curry. Like if LeBron goes full on Magic Johnson
that
as far as
crazy.
making plays.
Man, did
like,
Curry should be raining threes.
And the reason why I was wanting this as well, because of on the converse on the other side, if LeBron's picking Curry, and if you're Durant, I mean, out of all respect, I feel like he's probably going to have to pick Kyrie Irving with his first pick, you know, kind of like what Giannis and LeBron did with Chris Middleton and Anthony Davis. I don't see him not picking Kyrie. I mean, I kind of be surprised, even if Kyrie said, hey, you know, make sure you pick whoever you want to, even if it's not me first. I think the media will get a hold of that if he doesn't pick Kyrie. But just from those two picks alone, you know, it's like, hey, LeBron, he won a championship with Kyrie. KD won a championship with Steph. Let's switch teammates.
That would be crazy.
What if LeBron goes out there and picks Kyrie first?
I would be totally shocked. I think there would be a shot at Kevin Durant. But,
yeah,
I mean, obviously with all this being said, that was before, you know, we found out Kevin Durant's most likely sitting out through all of this. So he's not even going to have the chance to play. I mean, I would be shocked if he picked Kyrie. But I would say pick Steph, because whatever happens on the other side, you probably don't want Steph over there with them. I think Steph didn't play last year because of injury, so you better take Steph.
Y'all think Brad? I'm my bad. Go ahead, buddy.
No, well, I was just gonna say I definitely don't think it'd be Kyrie or either because of the, you know, Kyrie made some comments that were kind of shots at LeBron, and you know, I mean they've definitely played together a lot, but I don't know, that'd be weird. I don't think he'd do that. Anyway, that was all I had to say.
So do you guys think that Bradley Beal will be the last player picked out of the starters?
Depends on what direction they go, though.
I agree with that too.
You know, if they pick a center first or they pick a guard first, or what if both don't go with the other one? What if LeBron picks Curry and Durant picks
Giannis
Luka?
Or Luka? Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I mean, there's no rules really, you know.
Yeah.
Like who? I don't know, because you know, KD'd be somebody to do that.
It's the highest level pickup basketball game in the history of sports.
Wait a minute. So LeBron could, and the theory I was talking about, if LeBron picked Curry and Durant picked Kyrie just out of respect, then LeBron could turn right back around, I guess. Is it going back and forth, or does Kevin Durant get 2 picks?
No, it goes back and forth.
The snake goes back.
It's snake.
Snake would be like 1, 2, 2. You know what I mean? But
how many does it
like
go?
playground rules, it would be back and forth.
It's always been back and forth. Like last year, yeah.
Then LeBron could have Curry and Giannis.
Ooh.
And you know, even if you leave the other two strategically with Embiid and Jokic, I mean, that'll be something to see as well. But if you stack the bigs on the other team on purpose to where LeBron is like, we're just going to run through ball, and he picks up Dame in the second round, you know, after they do the starters. I'm sorry if I'm getting too far ahead, but
nah, you're good.
I know.
You know, let's say he did pick up Beal, but as another shooter. But if you picked up Dame, and if you have Dame, Curry, and Giannis, because if Kevin Durant has the first pick in the second round, and then again, if he goes out of respect and picks Harden with his first one in the second round, then Dame would be out there. I think that would be interesting. LeBron would be completely surrounded by shooters that can actually shoot.
So if KD picks up Kyrie theoretically, and then after that picks up Harden, then what if LeBron picked up Curry? So we said Curry and then Giannis, right?
Well, Harden would go
again.
Harden would go, yeah.
Not the second round, but the second part where they do the bench, because he was a reserve.
Oh, he's on the second.
Yeah,
he's on the
my
reserve.
bad.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, what if KD picked up somebody? Well, I mean, he wouldn't leave Jokic after Embiid. But what if Embiid and Jokic were on the same team? I mean, I guess they probably wouldn't.
They could
I don't know why they would do that.
That's
put Jokic to the 4
guards. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if LeBron does take?
I think Jokic could still do 5 and put Embiid at 4.
What if LeBron does this? What if the first pick LeBron takes Giannis, and then Durant's like, oh man, he took Giannis, so I'm gonna take Curry. He's my old dude. Or Kyrie. He'll take Kyrie out of respect. And then LeBron comes in with that third pick and takes Jokic. And then Durant's like, oh man, I gotta holler at my old boy Steph Curry and take him. I got him and Kyrie together. And then LeBron turns around with the next pick and he takes like Kawhi. And he's like, all right, well, he's going to take Kawhi like that, then, I'm going to holler out here and I'm going to grab Jason Tatum. And then LeBron turns around and he takes Embiid. And it's all bigs. And then he's got
Tatum was on the other.
I thought Tatum was a starter.
Was he?
I think Tatum's a starter. Jimmy Butler and Tatum.
I don't think Jimmy Butler didn't make the All-Star.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I think he's a starter.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Hold up, I'm looking it up as we speak.
Okay.
No, my bad. Jason Tatum replaced Kevin Durant on the team. I think Jimmy Butler is the starter.
Did he get in?
And then Sabonis got in too.
Man, he deserves that. He's definitely overlooked too much, and
yeah, my bad.
The NBA.
Yeah, it was the East starters were Kevin Durant, Giannis, Bradley Beal, Embiid, Kyrie Irving.
Jimmy Butler didn't make it.
Then the reserves in the Eastern Conference is Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Julius Randle, Ben Simmons, Vucevic, and Sabonis. Yeah, you're right. Jimmy Butler didn't make it. For some reason, I thought he was a starter.
Interesting that.
Well, he hasn't played much.
Tatum and Brown both made it.
I mean, Brown had plenty of opportunity. I kind of felt like he would be qualified to make it this year with that open slot of as far as usage because of Hayward not being there. I'm kind of glad that he was able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jimmy Butler not making it. I mean, not to change the subject from the All-Star game here, but I'd probably have to say he's the most disrespected player in the league, followed by Damian Lillard.
Oh, yeah.
And Booker. But Jimmy Butler to me I think we had this conversation before, but just to reiterate, I mean, what Kawhi did with the Raptors, I mean, I know they won and he had won before, but Jimmy Butler got the Heat to the finals after being there just 1 year as well. And then you don't hear any conversation about that.
No,
I just want to throw that in there.
Too.
I mean, and then the games that he played, those performances in the finals, he was playing like LeBron on the other side, putting up those numbers. And I don't know. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that.
No, I totally agree.
A lot.
Yeah, those are two players right there in Booker too. But yeah, I'm gonna go to this real quick. I saw it the other day on TV, and it makes me show great respect for Luka. but they were talking to him about starting in the All-Star game, and he said, to be honest with you, I shouldn't even start. Damian Lillard should be starting. Like, he straight told the press.
I heard about that on the ESPN radio.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's the toughest point guard in the West. And that's what he said. And I was like, wow, man, that is so cool. Like points for Luka.
I think he's the toughest point guard in the NBA right now.
Yeah. I could go with
personally.
Yeah. I mean,
just all around, like, he legit specifically worked on 35-foot shots,
yeah,
all year, and it's showing. Which that's just a small part of everything that he's done work on. But it's just like I saw a quote by one of his teammates. Even if his stats don't say that he has a good game, when it matters, he makes everything. Like at the end of the game, the last 3 shots that make them win by 1 or win by 2 or put them up by 5 or whatever, he makes them all. It's like, I don't know. It's fun to watch.
He definitely wins the game for that team. He's their guy.
Yeah.
But
he
he's
does.
Especially now without McCollum too.
The announcer called it a short memory when they were commentating on Damian Lillard's performance the other game in the last quarter, of how it doesn't matter if he's having a hot game all game or not, just not afraid to take the shots and close out the game.
Yeah, he's cool, definitely top tier as far as closing out. Me and Jay were having this conversation. We were running oatmeal the other day. For all you people out there, the 3 of us work at a wonderful cookie factory, and so in case you hear us make little references to things like that, we make cakes and cookies for you to enjoy, if you enjoy them. But anyway, we were talking about like players in the league that are the closeout, like the best closeout players in the league. And of course, you got Durant, you've got Curry, guys that we know, but Damian Lillard and Booker is absolutely clutch. He's a clutch player. We were talking about them. I think Jimmy Butler, and these are the 3 guys we're having a conversation. Yeah, they're all clutch. And you don't get a whole lot of, in like Derek was saying, like 3 disrespected players who can hit that shot at the end. So, but that's the that's the thing is, like these are guys on teams where they don't have like that other superstar. They're not attracting a lot of people into their area. So it's like, they're not like LeBron and AD in LA, or, Durant, Harden and Irving in New York, or you know what I mean? Like it's today. So, fans aren't as, zoned in on them as they would be, wherever LeBron is or whatnot.
Yeah, I think some of that, when it comes to like the market, or I guess attraction of a specific NBA team. When you mentioned the Suns, they wasn't able to pull anybody, I guess, through free agency. But what they did was they became smart and opened up cap space in case there was a free agent. But in turn, what they actually did was made the trade for Chris Paul. So adding that veteran, but also with Chris Paul wanting to buy into that system and accepting the fact that that they were an upcoming team, I guess. You look at what Devin Booker did last year in the bubble and just barely missed that playoff spot, just because the Blazers won more games. They were undefeated, and it just showed what he put in as far as his game. And I'm sure it impressed Chris Paul enough to where when they did go to trade him, he said, yeah, I'm interested in going there. Like, put me in that situation I can help them get over the hump because they got something going there. And that's what I was, kind of talking to you a little bit about too. The last year, Micah, was that if the Phoenix Suns hadn't done anything here recently, within this year or next year, that Devin Booker would probably request to be traded out just because he was one of those players that's really good and the talent is there. But, in the small market, if you're not attracting players and you're not getting into a winning situation, that he'd be one to kind of want to leave because he's just that good versus a player like Karl Anthony Towns where you just kind of think they're just kind of laying back in their market and just whatever happens. They're, as long as they're good, they're okay. But and then with Portland, I mean, obviously, I don't think Damian Lillard's going anywhere. He's already said that time after time, and he keeps getting disrespected. And he's just like, whatever y'all see, that's fine. That's motivation for me. And maybe somebody will come along, or they might have to make some trades down the road. But I mean, injuries do happen, so they're not fully healthy right now. But they are making the playoffs, year after year. So it does show something, but it's always tough when you always, you can see a team that can kind of pair another superstar with another superstar. Not saying that McCollum's not great, but he's not enough. It's not just looking at the Bucks with Chris Middleton and Giannis, the same thing. You're going to need more, but again, they were able to use the trade market, which should help to their advantage this year. Hopefully give them a better result than last year.
Yeah, definitely. Man, it's such a crazy way how the league has changed in the past couple of years and how all these players have moved around. Which was back in the day unheard of to see players move around this much. They moved around, don't get me wrong, but they didn't move around that much. But it's crazy just where they're all at. Yeah, on that, we're gonna go into the wrapping this show up. So Zach, man, let everybody out there know what you're up to, how you're doing, what's going on, just what's going on in your head, man.
Okay. I'm doing good. Kind of hanging out, working. Not really watching much basketball, but gonna be doing some content on YouTube at some point in the future under a name to be determined because the one that I had was already taken. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Heck yeah,
Not
man.
really much going on.
Heck yeah. Derek, how's it? Tell everybody what you're up to, man, and what you got going on.
Yeah, it's still hoping to get another channel going as far as like a spin-off from this one with Hugh. Hopefully, actually, we're wanting to do it sometime this month. It kind of got delayed. I wanted to do it last month, but still adjusting on the exact name. Kind of like Zach's saying, I need to see if it's available, but something pertaining to like the second half, as far as relating to a pun on the NBA, but also the second half of like this show, like an after show with this one, where we just kind of still talk about the NBA, but kind of just maybe a little bit more daily, like where it's just a couple of times in the week until we hit this on the weekend or every other week. So yeah, I don't have a name yet, but hopefully next time we have this, I could give a mention of what it would be and how to find us.
Heck yeah. So once again, get a little bit about what's going on here at Tavern Geek. Some new stuff is happening. I've been working on a few things. We'll let everybody know that these two guys and two other people I have assembled them as my staff here at Tavern Geek. on social media platform. And
Glad to be part of your staff.
And so everybody out there,
Pun
be on the
intended.
lookout. I'm happy you're here. I don't like being by myself. It'd be kind of weird. It'd just be like talking to myself. But yeah,
I was
we
using
got
staff more in reference to penis, but that's okay.
yeah. Well, but so we're uh we're gonna bring out some more NBA stuff is coming, especially with these two guys. I'm excited about what Derek's talking about and where he's going, and what Zach's birthing in himself. And it's good to see that these guys, my friends, are pushing through content or wanting to create content just like me. There's going to be some geek culture stuff. I'm getting ready to hopefully record one where I'm going to break down the X-Men and put them in the MCU. And then there's going to be some more home brewing stuff and some beer stuff going on. And yeah, craft beer, geek culture, and sports. That's what this is all about. So I thank everybody for listening tonight. And we will catch you guys in episode 5.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.